Journey to Justice tour, I heard firsthand from communities who are suffering from water infrastructure needs. A community in Jackson, Mississippi, whose school was vacated because of low water pressure. Families in Houston, Texas, who are suffering from lead poisoning in their drinking water. That's why we're excited to announce the bipartisan infrastructure law, over $50 billion invested in these communities that need it the most. And I'm calling on governors and mayors and decision makers to ensure that these resources go to those communities that need it the most.
Good evening, Black people and all allies fighting for Black liberation, Black prosperity, and Black joy. I'm Charles Blow, and welcome to Prime. Just 3 weeks after the president signed his infrastructure bill, we're now learning where some of that money will go. EPA Administrator Michael Regan sent a letter last week to governors revealing how funds allocated for water infrastructure will be divvied up among states. Mississippi, a state that has been ravaged with crumbling infrastructure and water issue for years, will be receiving nearly $75 million in funding. According to the Associated Press, though, it's unclear how the money will be allocated within the state. But EPA Administrator Regan said states should prioritize underserved communities. He also said communities like Jackson with critical water infrastructure needs will be encouraged to apply for funding. Jackson has been dealing with water issues for decades. Last month, Regan witnessed firsthand how more than 400 students and teachers at one school used portable bathrooms outside due to low water pressure. As the Jackson Free Press wrote, the pressure was so low on the day that Regan visited that the school was closed. The next day, more than a dozen Jackson schools were closed because of lack of water. In February, severe weather crippled the city's water system and left residents without clean water for weeks. The city has since been under a boil water notice on and off for months. In October, 2 lawsuits were filed against the city and its leaders, claiming that 600 children were exposed to dangerous lead levels in their drinking water. 82% of Mississippi's capital city is Black, making Jackson one of the blackest big cities in America. The water issue has been a long-running issue for Jackson, and they may be able to fix some of the problems with infrastructure funds, but that depends on how much money they'll actually get. Joining me now to discuss is founder of Revitalization Strategies and Vice President for Environmental Justice, Climate, and Community Revitalization at the National Wildlife Federation, Mustafa Ali. And joining us on the phone is City Engineer in Jackson's Public Works Department, Charles Williams, Jr. Mr. Williams, I want to start with you. I know it is early going. They just made this announcement of how much money Mississippi would get. Do you have any assurances from the state about how much money Jackson will specifically get in order to deal with its water issues?
No, sir. We have not received any communication about how the monies will be divided amongst the state when these monies do come to Mississippi. So we're optimistically waiting, for any type of response at this time.
And what is the price tag that you and city government estimate it would take to fix the water problems in the city of Jackson, Mississippi?
Well, we've announced that obviously it's going to take well over $1 billion to make the corrective measures with our infrastructure, and obviously we're optimistic about receiving some federal funds to help us assist with our crumbling infrastructure.
So, Mustafa, I want to turn to you. I mean, Jackson basically needs more money than the entire state has gotten, it looks like, under this infrastructure bill. And yet, they keep using curious language, right? So the administrator is saying we're going to encourage Jackson to places like Jackson to apply. They're saying they're going to encourage the state to, prioritize underserved communities. Are there no riders on this money? Are they basically doing block grants to states which will allow the states to allocate this money as they see fit?
Well, that's the challenge. And we've talked about this before. There has to be accountability in these infrastructure dollars that are moving. There has to be an environmental justice analysis. That criteria then has to drive the areas that need the dollars the most. And right now, that is not a part. So you have to understand how this is going to work, at least to my knowledge. Dollars are leaving the feds, going to the states, then to the counties and local governments. But when the states get the dollars, then they're making a determination about the areas inside of their border that will actually get the dollars. And here's where it gets challenging, and not enough folks are talking about this, is that we have programs like the State Revolving Loan Fund, a long-standing fund that's been in place. But if you go back and look at the history of that, there have been governors that have held on to those dollars. There have been governors that have not directed those dollars to the places and spaces that need them the most. So that's why there actually needs to be not just intentionality, but also accountability in these dollars that often don't make it to Black and brown and lower wealth communities.
Right. Mr. Williams, before this infrastructure money became available, what were the discussions between the city of Jackson and the state, both the legislature and the governor? What were they willing to do? Did they recognize the level of the problem that you had, and were they willing to address it in any way even before this infrastructure money became available?
Yes, sir. There have been appeals by the mayor, obviously, to the governor and the lieutenant governor, speaker of the House, about Jackson, receiving some funding to assist with our infrastructure. And, they need probably more suitable to speak to some of those discussions that he had behind closed doors. But there have been appeals, and obviously there will continue to be appeals from the city to our legislators.
But how were those appeals met? I don't mean to interrupt you, but how were those appeals met? Were they warmly received? Did they say that they were going to try to get you more money, or were you rebuffed?
Obviously we have not received the amount of funds that we have requested in the past. And so, there's obviously a gap there from our, perspective that, we have not received the amount of monies that we feel that are owed to the city in order for us to make the improvements to the capital city itself. And so we obviously are looking for assistance from the state, as these federal dollars do come through to assist the city.
Mustafa, see, that is the thing that worries me the most. Even before this money becomes available, many of these Black cities exist in Republican-run states, right? So there are 1,200 majority Black cities in America. 90% of them are in the American South. The American South is overwhelmingly run by Republican governors and legislatures. If those legislatures and governors are not being responsible even before the money, the checks are cut and the money arrives, what gives us any assurance or any kind of confidence that they are going to then behave when they get the money and actually distribute it in equitable ways, and particularly pay attention to underserved communities?
Well, I'm optimistic, but I'm also extremely cautious that folks may finally do the right thing since the resources. So there were two things that were driving this crisis, and we do have a crisis across our country. Tens of millions of people are drinking unsafe drinking water, contaminated drinking water. The American Society of Civil Engineers gave the United States a D for our drinking water infrastructure. So let's just give folks the facts foundationally. So when we're looking at these folks, they are going to carry a bunch of additional costs if they don't get this right. There are all these public health impacts that are happening to Black and brown and lower wealth white communities. Hopefully that will drive them because they're going to have to carry the healthcare costs. There's going to be lack of impacts that are happening on the educational side. There are going to be folks who can't go to work because they're sick, because there's all these diseases that are associated with this crumbling infrastructure and non-existent infrastructure and many existent in Black and brown communities. So if they don't do the right thing, it's just going to get worse because the climate crisis is going to put additional burdens on these weakening or crumbling or non-existent structures that are out there.
Mr. Williams, so what is the process now? The EPA is basically saying they're going to encourage you to apply for funds. Is that the process now, that each city or each municipality of any sort, city or county, now has to apply to the state for the funding? Or is that your plan? Is that your understanding of what happens from this point forward?
No, sir. Right now, we have not been giving any type of directive as it relates to any type of applications or any type of procedures such as that. We have submitted information about potential plans if monies were directed toward the city and where they would be used for either water or wastewater projects.
Mustafa, I'm going to give you the last word on this. You know, how do these communities lobby to get this money? What do they, should they be calling their state representatives? Should they be calling governors? Should they be putting pressure on the Biden administration? I don't know, to say make sure that they equity distribute this money. What should the communities that need the money be doing right now to make sure they can get some of this money?
There are a couple of different things. So one of them, of course, is engaging with your state houses to make sure that as these dollars are making their way there, that there's some criteria that's being developed in place to actually get them to Black and brown communities. The other part is to continue to also pressure folks on Capitol Hill. When we talk about the bipartisan infrastructure bill, of course, is done now, but we also have dollars that are inside of the Build Back Better. So we got to make sure that when it goes through the Senate, that is done properly. The House has already put some language in there. The Senate has to approve that language and then get it to the president. The other part is because many of these dollars are going to move through loan programs and some will go through grant programs. We've also got to continue to do these workarounds where the dollars don't have to go straight to the states, actually go to those local governments, to those frontline communities that have been fighting and battling and trying to get the water quality up and to make sure that people actually have clean and affordable water to drink. So there are those 3-4 things that we can do.
Mustafa Ali and Charles Williams Jr., thank you so much for joining me tonight. I appreciate your time.